Steve Dotto here. Thanks for joining me today. We have a great demo lined up today. We're going to take a look at my 5 favorite Evernote features. Now, for some of you, these might be old hat. For some of you, they might be brand new semi-ninja tricks that you never knew about within Evernote. You know, Evernote is such a deep and rich application that well, we could spend a lot of time looking at different features in it. But these are 5 that I think really are very cool, that I like to use and fit well in my life. So the first one I want to talk to you about is voice recognition within Evernote. And now Evernote, there's a couple of different ways to make voice work on Evernote. And what I wanted to show you today, though, is Evernote on my mobile phones for voice recognition, because, you know, Evernote is great when we're on the internet and we're clipping articles from the web, that kind of stuff. So using your computer to input data into Evernote is a great way of doing things. But with our mobile devices, with our phones, is one of the best ways that Evernote works, whether it's using our camera to capture information, which I'll talk about a little bit later in this segment, or using our voice to capture notes and memos and all that sort of stuff while we're on the road, which is far more convenient for people like me rather than using the keyboard. So I always look for really good voice-activated technology. And I want to show you here on my Android phone. I've got the Samsung Galaxy S4 here. Now, within Evernote, you can use the Evernote app as it runs within the Galaxy, and there is a way to do voice recognition within that, or voice to text is what we're actually talking about here. But they also have this utility you can download for Android called the Evernote widget. When you download the Evernote widget, it installs, do you see here on your screen? It installs this little widget window, which has Evernote always open for you and available to you at all times in Android, which is very cool. Now, the neat thing is this menu is customizable, so that the ways that you capture information the most in Evernote, you can set this widget up to work with you. Does that make sense? And one of the things they have here is, if we take a look down here, this speech to text note. So when you enable that, that is then, oh, actually, I've got 2 of them in there now because I've duplicated it. But this tool, when I tap on it, it will convert, it will open a brand new note, and that note will automatically be in voice recognition mode. So I can start speaking right away and dictate into the note. If I hit the button, if I just hit the note itself here now, just see what's happened, and that note will automatically be voice recognition mode, so I can start speaking right away and dictate into it. Now, you have to be online for this to work. This doesn't work if you don't have a data connection, so you have to use either your mobility or a Wi-Fi connection. But you don't have to do just one note like that. I can put a return in. Now, if I just tap on the screen again, it'll go back into record mode again. So now I can continue recording voice memos, which I find far more convenient and far more efficient than typing in notes manually. Look at that. Isn't that great? I love that. Now, that's on the Samsung Galaxy 4 or S4. Now, before I leave the Galaxy, I should show you that if we just use the Evernote app as it is, there isn't the same voice recognition built in to the app itself on it. However, you can use system-wide voice recognition. You can use the Google Voice. So all we have to do then is slide down at the top, select a different input method, and then I can choose Google Voice typing. And now the phone is in a very similar mode, but it's using Google Voice for voice recognition. And you can see as I'm going along, it's inputting the data for me accurately, or my voice is being converted to text accurately. I really like these features. They work spectacularly in the Galaxy and the Android operating system. Now, not to be outdone though, the iOS also has the same kind of capabilities. Now, except the iPhone does it in a slightly different way. Let me just show you. There is my iPhone screen, up and on screen. Let me just close down these other windows so that we just have my iPhone there. There we go. So now with the iPhone, because Apple Siri, now this is if you're using iPhone 4S or higher with one of the newer operating systems, and I've got Evernote open here, and you see the Evernote app looks slightly different. In all of the different operating systems, it operates slightly differently with some different capabilities. But in iOS, we've got the ability to make quick notes, and if I tap there on the note field, up comes Apple's keyboard. And within Apple's keyboard, we always have, in the newer versions, this little microphone, which we see down here in the bottom. If I tap on that, it then launches Apple's voice recognition technology, which, again, you have to be online in order to use, but it works very well straight from the Apple keyboard. You click Done, and and it then launches the Apple voice recognition technology, which again, you have to be online in order to use, but it works very well straight from the Apple keyboard. Is that not worth spending a few minutes with me today to learn about if you haven't been using voice recognition in Evernote? It just opens a whole new world of note-taking opportunities and data gathering and curating opportunities for us using Evernote. So that's my tip number one, which is basically say it, don't type it. Now, next up on my list of very cool Evernote features that I really like is the ability to email into Evernote. A lot of people don't realize that with both the free and the premium Evernote accounts, you have an email address attached to that account, meaning that you can email directly into your inbox in Evernote. And if you go into your account info, right there, you'll find email notes to, that is my email address for Evernote. So from my address book or from any email application, I can send whatever document I'm working on into Evernote. So I use this extensively. When I'm emailed a receipt or an invoice or a bill, I archive them and store them all in Evernote, in notebooks, in my accounting notebooks in Evernote. So rather than putting them into a file folder on my computer, I email them as soon as I receive them directly out of my email program into Evernote. And I do the same with things like flight itineraries and bookings for travel or hotel reservations. I email them all directly into Evernote, so I have them available to me at all times. And let me just show you quickly how easy that is and how that works. I'm just going to jump over into my email inbox. So I can create a new email or use an existing or forward an existing email from my email account here. And I'm just going to choose, let's just choose this one right here from Derek. Derek Halpern, he just sent me a new newsletter. Guys, always got something interesting today. This is something that I might be interested in keeping for some reason I want to store. So what I'm going to do is I am going to forward this to myself, but I'm going to forward it to my Evernote account. So here in my address field, I type in Evernote, and you see what comes up is the Evernote email address. When I send that, it is then sent and it's delivered to the inbox in Evernote. Let me take you back into Evernote, and you will see in my inbox, we should momentarily have a brand new email that's just arrived. And there is the email that I just forwarded in from my email account directly into Evernote. So now I can take this, I can tag it, I can file it in a way in a different notebook. As I said, it works spectacularly for doing things like invoices and receipts and itineraries and reservations, those sort of documents that you want to have access to when you're out and about and on the road. Being in Evernote then, they're available to you in all of your different mobile forms. So that's number 2 on my list of my favorite Evernote features. My third favorite Evernote feature is I love Evernote's geolocation or geotagging. We travel so much, and quite often we take notes in a location and we can't remember what we named the note or maybe even what some of the words that we put in the note, so it might be difficult to search, but we know where we were when we captured that note. If you click on the Atlas, the Evernote Atlas, you can then see where all of your notes were composed, where you were when you captured those notes, and it goes down to a map level. So if I want to say, look at when last time I was in Calgary, I was there and it's showing me the exact notes that I took when I was in these locations. I was downtown Calgary, and there's the 5 notes that I captured when I was downtown. So things like receipts that I captured with my digital, with the Evernote camera of meals that I had, they recognize them here from where I captured them. I love the map and the Atlas feature. It helps you if you're grabbing photos, if you're grabbing receipts, if you've taken notes, if you've done voice memos on the road. It's great for that because you can see exactly where you were, where all of your different notes were gathered based on your travels. That is an awesome Evernote feature. Now, next up is a feature which I hadn't discovered until quite recently, and this is one of the features that's built into the Evernote Web Clipper. Now, I've shown you the Evernote Web Clipper. I got a great demo, which I'm going to link to right here, which shows you the features of the new Evernote Web Clipper, which allows us to basically take anything we can find online and quickly clip that and capture that into Evernote. It's a tremendous tool, and you can see it here installed in my toolbar. But part and parcel with that is a search feature that allows simultaneous search, meaning that when you search for something in Google, it will also, or any search engine for that matter, it will also search your Evernote notebook for similar search criteria. Let me show you how, first of all, how you enable it. If you have the Evernote Web Clipper installed, you go into your preferences within your browser, and in your extensions, in your settings for your extensions, you choose Evernote Web Clipper right here. And then a lot of people would never click on this because it's right next to the tab that says Allow in Incognito. Now, what that means is Chrome has this incognito mode, which basically turns off all tracking and turns off gathering the history. So if you're going to a banking website and you don't want your banking information gathered when you're on the road or something, on a visiting computer, the incognito mode basically cloaks who you are and doesn't allow any cookies or tracking to happen. So a lot of people you can turn that on to allow the Evernote Web Clipper to work within that mode, but you wouldn't click on the options because you might think that it relates to allow incognito, but actually the options go way beyond the incognito mode. It allows us to choose smart filing, the last notebook used as far as where it's going to be filed. You see it's got a bunch of different options. For tag selections, you can also always tag with, say, gathered from the internet or web or Evernote Web Clipper, so you could tag things that way. But if you look down here, this is the one that I wanted to talk about. It's called Related Results. When enabled, searching the web on supported search engines will be performed on your Evernote account at the same time. So when we turn that on, something way cool happens to our search criteria now when we go on the internet and search. And let us do that. Let's start a new window and let us search for Evernote. Now, typically speaking, when you do a Google search for Evernote, now we would just be searching the web. But now, not only am I searching the web, but I should also have appearing here in my search area, in my results, there they are. It's also searching my Evernote account. So I'm searching the web on the left-hand side and my Evernote files here on the right-hand side to find that same content. Isn't that cool? I thought you'd like that. I really like that. Now, the last of my 5 fabulous features in Evernote is, again, an ability to capture information when we're on the road. And this time, using the document camera feature that's built in to all the iPhones and Android phones. Now, if we take a look here, there's some very cool features. I've just launched within Evernote the ability to, the document camera. And actually, I just hit the camera icon. I tap over here on document, and it converts it into a document camera, which I can now focus on whatever document, in this particular case, a business card, that I want to take a picture of and capture. And then it will capture that, and it will go through, and it will OCR that document, which is quite cool. But I should tell you as well, they also have the ability within this camera to do a little post-it note, which is really cool if you're just taking little post-it note captures as well, which I think is an awesome way to, which is an awesome added feature built in as well to the document cameras. But the document camera takes a nice accurate picture, and it's great for not just capturing business cards. I use it all the time for capturing receipts, but it's also great if you're handwriting notes, and if you're taking notes, it does a great job of capturing those notes as well. You know, Evernote is such a tremendous tool. It just curates and gathers so much content and information. I have a lot of friends that call it their digital brain. The more that we put into it, the more valuable it becomes. The more we use it, the more we get experienced with using it. And it just is this self-fulfilling cycle of productivity and goodness. I'm a big fan, as you can tell, of Evernote. I hope you're a big fan of us as well. If you are, please give us a thumbs up here on YouTube. It's always awesome to get some nice social proof. And don't forget, you can subscribe to our channel here, which means that every week when we do a new video, you won't have to come looking for us. We will come and let you know that we have a new video ready for your entertainment and education. I'm Steve Dotto. You have a great day.